record on my computer. Okay, I see my little dot. Okay, so continue if you have not to put your little emoji in our chat. You might be feeling a variety of different ways. There's a ton of stuff going on in the world and in your lives. And it's how you're feeling is valid, and we appreciate you for being here. We're gonna move on, continue. I'm gonna be watching your little chats to see how you're feeling. One thing that I would like you to think about today is your final draft of your poems are due today. And if, and some of us are still working on it, and that's okay. But we have been working on this for about a week and a half almost. Okay, so I do expect that these drafts are due today. But I do understand that some of us are not quite there. So I wanted to give you an incentive or some way to motivate you to complete this task today. If you share your completed poem by 4 p.m. today, I will offer you 5 points extra credit on your poem. That being said, you could get a 35 out of 30, which is going to be a really awesome grade. All right, that's a A++. And I really want you to know that it is important for us to get that rough draft done today. But I also understand, like, it's harder to be motivated if we're not constantly in your space and helping you along the way. So I want you to know we're here for you. All right. And then one thing that you might not be aware of is how to share your poem. And this is going to be, you're going to have to go into your drive. Now, I had people do this in 2 ways. One is they kept their poem as their rough draft document, which is fine. Okay, you can be editing on that document. Some other people decided to make a new document for their poem, for their final, and that also is fine. If you need help with that, I will help you later. And then you're gonna click this little blue button that is at your top right of your screen. I know this is kind of small. And it says share, and it's got some little people there. You're gonna click that and share it with me. And I know many of you know how to do that because I get emails. And so you know that if you type Hi Merle or Sabra in your email or the share box, my name will pop up and you can share it with me. And again, if you have trouble with that, I can help you. The next thing I want to go over is kind of how I'm looking at your poems. And just to note that because of the challenges, we haven't been there to help you make sure that your poetic devices are in your poem. So I'm going to be kind of lenient with that. Because it's, I mean, you had videos of Frank Centuali helping you identify those pieces, but also if you need help, I'm here to help you, and we can kind of make sure that those are in your poem together. And it's using them in a consistent way that's like throughout your poem, you have elements of figurative language, or you're using them correctly and multiple times, that is going to be partly proficient. And if they're just labeled like one of them or 2 of them, you might score a 1. And again, we can edit this and resubmit. It's going to be next quarter's grade. So if you do want help after I give you your grade back, I can help you edit that. Grades are not definitive. Always make sure that we can be better. And that's a learning process. So take those risks, especially with Miss Olson and I, because we really like to help and we really like to just be there for you. So be mindful that you can always resubmit something or alter it, and it won't be, and then we can change your grade, because this is an extremely challenging time. We're not saying that it's not, but I do want you to finish your drafts today, and then I can help you later with other adjustments. But we have had plenty of time. And then your final draft should be free of errors. And when I say free of errors, I'm not talking necessarily about grammar, because one of the things we know about poetic form is it doesn't have to be perfect standard English. And it can be, it's lenient, right? What I do want you to be aware of is spelling. And how you can adjust your spelling is there's on your documents, there's at your tools, you can make sure that your words are spelled correctly. And one thing that I'll be looking for is make sure your I's are capitalized. That's one thing that your computers won't acknowledge. Now, I'm only grading your poetic piece. Frank Centuali is going to grade your presentation. And that's when you're going to read your poem out loud to Frank Centuali using Flipgrid, which many of you know how to do. I'm going to make sure that you can access that. I made it quite, it's easily accessible, so you can do that. And the great thing about Flipgrid is you can keep redoing your poem until you think it is perfect. And an example of this is I was interviewed by a high school student this year, and I redid my video 4 times before I submitted it, because I did want to alter it and I want to edit it. So it is an advantage to you, because any other time that Frank has gone into my classroom, you have one chance and you have to do it in front of all of your friends. So that is, you do not have that intimidation this time. Instead, you're just going to be videoing or making a video of you reading your poem. And Frank will then comment on your poem on Flipgrid. And you can probably redo it and have him watch it again is the other benefit. And if he doesn't, I will. Now, how he is going to grade your poem is, number 1, you have to be present fully. So some of us like to hide behind faces and behind some other types of altering visuals. I am not going to let you do that, because one of the main points is that he can see you, and it actually goes in, it's ingrained in this rubric. It's going to be throughout your rubric. He needs to see your facial reactions. So the first thing he's looking for is your choreography, and that's your movement. And you've been watching several poems. He uses his hands for movement, to just, your eyes follow with your hands. Now, you'll notice that you can see, and I don't have enough room, but he wants you to see your head all the way down to like your abdomen area. So there's more space to be, he would say theatrical, but I'm going to say adding movement or choreography. All right. So he does want to see you using your hands to make people understand your poem better. All right. And then the next thing is you use your voice to make your poem sound different. So one of the things that you can do is you can change your pitch, which is how the words sound coming out of your mouth. And like if it's high or low. The other thing is volume, which is if it's loud or quiet. When you change your voice, you're adding emotion to your poem. And that's kind of what he's going to be looking for, is how you use your voice to make your poem come alive. All right. So that's why it's important for us to practice. It's so we can, use different voice styles. And he did kind of do this throughout with his videos. And if you need more help and you need to go look at them again, you can just go into our assignments and click on whatever week you would like to. The next thing is asking you to engage your audience with your eye contact. So I always look to the side because I have a monitor, so I'm looking over, but I want you to stare into this little light on your computer and talk to it, because that's going to be your eye contact. And that's why you can't have anything covering your face, because he needs to see your eyes. All right. And I know that's very challenging, and it's going to take you maybe a couple takes of your presentation, but you have time to do this. He will not be grading your videos until Thursday. So if you want to work a couple days on making your perfect presentation, I suggest you do that, so you can get an awesome grade. And then another important piece in your rubric is he's going to time your poem, which means he's going to have a little timer on his phone, and he's going to make sure it's at least 1 minute. All right, that's the important part. It just has to be 30 or 60 seconds in length. And if it's over, that's fine, but it shouldn't be over 3. So it's going to be 1 to 3 minutes in length. And then the last is, do you have contagious enthusiasm for your ideas? And he just wants to see that you care about the thing that you're talking about. All right. And that's super important for him.
I really like that phrase, contagious enthusiasm, because right now when I hear contagious, I'm thinking COVID. Stay away.
I should have changed that word.
It's meaning like if I'm watching a video where somebody is enthusiastic and it's smiling and excited, I catch it. I get excited. I get enthusiastic as well. And so that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. Much like your teachers that are always like smiling and super happy to see you. That's what we want to see. Okay. And then the easy way to complete this is I will have the Flipgrid link, and you're going to click on there, and it's going to bring you right to where you need to be to record it. All right. So I wanted to make it very easy and accessible for you to be able to do this. And here is Frank Centuali. He is performing. I just took this picture off his website and put it on there. And people already have theirs done, right? And so he's going to go in on Thursday and start grading these, but I would really like everyone's to be on there, right? And that's going to be super important. And then this one, I do have to have them redo it because I can't see their face. So that will be a conversation. I forgot that was on there. So I do apologize, but do not do that. You need to see your face. It needs to be illuminated, so everyone understands what's where your emotions are.
And remember, when you create your video, sometimes it has you do a selfie. Maybe that's just a selfie, but we don't even want it there. No filters, no frame, anything on selfies or the video.
Okay. And then, okay. So the first thing I want to test, I want to see where everyone's at. All right. And because the world is a crazy place, we can be open and honest. This is hard to do. So know that we're here to support you. I don't know why my light's not there. Okay. So one thing that I can do is I'm going to leave this chat open for a while, and we can chat out your poems and generate ideas together one-on-one, because we are going to end class a little bit early, but I'm not going to let you leave early until I know that your final draft is done. Okay. And then the next thing that you can do is you can email me if something pops up. Like, let's say that you're doing your poem and then you're like, oh my gosh, I really need to have this question answered by Miss H because she's the only one that can help me. Like, you email me and I will help you. Like, it's that simple. But if you ask me something on email, I would really appreciate you waiting to get that response, like being aware that I will respond within a couple minutes, because that's how close I am to my computer at all times, because it's on my phone, right? So there's that. So I'm here for you. And then whatever suggestions you have that I can help you with, you can also kind of throw at me. So is there anything that I can do to help you other than those things? You can write that in the chat. Ooh. Jayana, can you ask if Aubrey went into her email link? I sent everyone an email. Can you ask her if that is something that she did? Because that one tends to work better. Otherwise, Miss Olson, can you send our link to Aubrey?
Yeah.
Great. Perfect. And then we can figure all that out. Also, we're recording this. Hopefully it works. I think it will. We're good. All right. So if you're late, that's okay. better late than never. You got me for a while. All right. Next is, here's your job today. I'm just going to lay it out there. Here's what I want you to accomplish today. I want you to finish your draft, your final draft of your poem, and share it with me. Okay. So this is what I want you to concentrate on today. I want you to finish your poem and share it with me. All right. So that means editing and everything is done and it's your final project. I want that today. If you have a major issue, I would like you to email me or write it privately in the chat. Next, if you have your presentation done today, here's my motivation again. If you have your draft done and you really want to get everything done, I would like you to complete your performance on Flipgrid. And it's in your assignments. If you go to today, you click on Flipgrid, it should bring you right there and you can finish your poem and all of this is completed and you can take a deep breath. And then I might even give you more extra credit if you finish that today. In fact, I will. So if everything's perfect and you have 5 extra credit points for getting your work done on time or your paper, and then you did your presentation, you could get 40 out of 35 or 40 out of 30 and just have it be awesome. All right. And you'll get like 110 points out of 100, it's going to be awesome. So, percentage, like you're going to do over 100% if you get everything done today, because I really want you to feel like not stressed. Like once you get this done, you can take a deep breath and you can literally feel relief that it's done, because it's been a really long process and you guys have been working really hard, and you can celebrate then, right? Do a full celebration. Like if I wanted to really celebrate, I might run around my house like 5 times. If you want to do that, feel free to steal my idea. And then the last thing is this week, and then weekend into Monday, you will be checking your Flipgrid to see if Frank has responded to your poems. So he has access into our Flipgrid and he will be assessing your performance and giving you feedback. And one thing to remember about feedback is anything we can do that we've done, we can always make it better. So it is not to be mean, it is to grow. And a lot of ELA class is taking risks. You're taking risks on what you believe happened in your paper, in your books. You're giving out your ideas, and just to know that it is okay to take risks, because when we take risks, we learn from whatever we're doing. And that's super important to remember. I would love for all of this to be done, or I want all of your papers. I will give you extra credit if your final draft is due, or it's done completely edited by 4 p.m. All right. You'll get your 5 points extra if yours is completed and submitted to me. Again, you have to share it with that little blue box, and you can you can pat yourself on the back. Those are, it's just to motivate you, right? I don't want to stress you out, right? Because you're not going to get docked points if it's late.
And it's the end of the quarter too. And I know a lot of students are stressed out about grades. This is a really easy way to help yourself out by getting it done by 4 p.m. and get that extra credit.
And, well, I was actually coming to the next grades. Should I put it on this grades? I'll put the extra credit on this week's grades then. Because we won't have the full, Frank has till Monday. So it won't be in the grade book, but it'll be an A+ when you get back. How cool is that? Awesome. Okay. So one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to post this, right? Which is awesome. And I'm going to stop sharing. But I am going to give you the option to stay on with me. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to read you a couple of poems that people have done. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to